welcome to this mini lesson on classroom management with technology. Let's begin by reviewing what classroom management means. Classroom management is a complex system that involves many strategies that teachers use to engage students in academic tasks. Simply put, classroom management is a wide variety of skills and techniques teachers use to ensure their classroom runs smoothly. At its core, classroom management begins with clearly communicated expectations to both students and their guardians. This is where you state what you expect of students and what students can expect from you. Once those expectations are clearly understood, rules are put in place. These rules are generated by you, but they are also agreed upon by you and your class as a whole. Once those expectations and rules are in place, relationships between you and your students begin to form, which ultimately equates to a structured learning environment. A structured learning environment does not mean sage on the stage type of classroom, but it means you have an environment where behaviors that get in the way of learning are eliminated or avoided because you have a well managed classroom of engaged students. A quick side note about student behavior. Kids' behavior hasn't changed at all, but the nature of the classroom has changed. And that is why we must now look at how technology fits into classroom management. Let's look at the top three classroom management issues for both students and teachers. Number one is engagement. Over the next few slides, we'll dive deep into the importance of student engagement. Number two is disruptive behaviors. This ties into engagement as well as relationships. Technology is interwoven with every aspect of our daily lives, and that includes our students too. Whether it is in your professional life or personal life, we cannot escape from technology. The key is to find ways to integrate platforms, apps, and devices into our classroom without causing a disruption. As educators, we need to look at the ways technology can help us, look at the ways it can make running a classroom efficient. Finally, organization. Another classroom management issue is organization. We'll take a closer look at this in the form of data collection and usage. After all, managing your classroom efficiently is based on how well you are organized to be an effective teacher. We are at the point in society where we can no longer dread technology, and we must be sure that we aren't simply entertaining our students with technology, but the technology must be relevant to the subject. Researchers have found that if interesting information is irrelevant to the lesson's learning objectives, it is likely to have a negative impact on student learning. This previous spring, educators and students across the globe were thrusted into a distance learning classrooms. While many school districts gave teachers access to numerous apps and platforms, it overwhelmed both teachers and students, but most importantly, it was a detriment to learning. However, over the summer, teachers spent countless hours learning new technology and learning how to incorporate this technology into their classroom. Taking the time to master a few apps rather than trying to know it all, they are using technology more efficiently, which has a positive impact on student engagement. So don't feel like you have to know it all. Again, we can no longer deny how dependent we are on technology being at the center of education. Naturally, the next question then becomes, how can educators engage their students in authentic learning without technology being a distraction? Remember, as educators, we must embrace technology in order to keep learning engaging. At the heart of every classroom management with technology is engagement. Every teacher wants to engage students, and they need engaged students in their classroom in order to learn. This holds true for in person classrooms as well as distance learning. By giving students the tools to access the world outside of their schools and homes, we are showing them that we have the confidence in them to create and discover unique and innovative ways of learning that best suits them. We can now replace the sage on the stage with the guide on the side. Studies are showing as student engagement with technology relevant to their learning objectives increases, disruptive behaviors decrease. Ultimately, engaged students in a structured learning environment will take ownership of their learning. Just like technology software, data too can be overwhelming. Here are three ways teachers use technology to manage their data. Assessments. Data allows teachers to assess the class as a whole or an individual student. Analyzation. Collecting data allows teachers to analyze where students are struggling before the end of a unit or quarter. And finally, having access to so much student data gives teachers a chance to pivot or adjust instruction to meet the needs of each student. Just like classroom behavior, student data needs to be managed. Let's look at some specific ways data can lend itself to managing your classroom. Using data you collected from technology can help you decide which students to assign to a small group for projects and other activities. Using technology to collect data allows you to give real time feedback to the students. Students have a lot of anxiety over their grades and performances. Using technology allows teachers to easily communicate, provide feedback, and keep students on a path towards success. Using technology and data for assessments allows you to help students achieve academic success. Communication is a big part of classroom management with technology. Knowing what you know about your students allows you to be empathetic, address any hardships the students may be facing, and it can help you set goals for students to improve or achieve a specific grade or to help them become more organized or more of an independent learner. Using technology in your classroom allows you to quickly engage with your students in so many ways. Having that relationship built with your student will have a direct impact on their behavior and achievement in your class. It's not always about Kahoot. Classroom management with technology can help you take attendance through a poll, give enrichment activities to students who finish their work early, extend lessons with activities that can be done digitally and independently. Did you know something as indirect as standardizing naming conventions in your Google Classroom, Drive, or Schoology secretly teaches them organizational skills? Not to mention that it saves you a lot of time. You can digitize Dr. D's check chart, make it an Excel sheet in order to keep track of all those check marks. Apps like Padlet, No Red Ink, Newsela, Dreambox, Alex gives you insight into students' level of mastery. And again, it allows you to adjust your lessons or address confusion or misconceptions. With the use of platforms like Schoology, Google Classroom, Phoenix, Blackboard, Parent View, Student View, and so many more, teachers can clearly communicate to students and guardians about how they are progressing. Use technology to communicate when grades will be posted to your students. Again, anxiety over grades is a real thing. I do want to note that digital tools can be a distraction, but only if we don't know how to manage it and if we don't make it relevant. Classroom management with technology takes the tools we have to enhance what we already know to make it a more engaged learning experience for our students. So, final thought. Students are not the only ones in the classroom who need to be engaged. Classroom management with technology is about challenging our students to a deeper level of learning while we challenge ourselves to higher engagement standards. If you'd like to explore more on this topic or for ways to engage your students, please visit any of these sites mentioned on this page. We have now finished this lesson on classroom management with technology. Please click the bright orange here for your exit ticket.